What a difference just a couple weeks makes with this deep water culture plant. It was only a matter of, 3 weeks ago where I thought this plant was going to be dead. It was completely deteriorating from the top to the bottom. The pH was off, the water temperature was too high. I have 2 other update videos on the channel, so if you missed those, you might want to warp back because I do talk in detail about what I did to recover this plant, but it is looking so much better right now. The environment is on point. It is about 78, 79 degrees Fahrenheit. The RH is in the 70% range, and the VPD is at a 0.8, 0.9 kPa. kPa is a measurement of VPD. So environment's dialed in. Lighting, I have the Evo 3 LED grow light by AC Infinity up top. I measured the PAR and it's getting about 625, 650 ppfd. I typically like 400 to 600 ppfd in the veg stage. I did have these plants trained down and it was at about 600, but now that they've popped up, they are now receiving a little bit more than I like. So what I'll do is I'm either going to adjust this grow light up or I'm gonna actually train this a little bit more. This definitely needs some training. I did some work on it, but this plant just became so bushy. The growth on this plant is so vigorous being in deep water culture here. Let's take a look at the roots real quick. I'll just show you. I mean, the rootstock is pretty massive here. A little bit of discoloration you can see in there. I guess a little bit of yellowing is okay, but everything seems to be looking pretty good there as far as the roots. But I do definitely need to train this plant a little bit more. I had some bud trainer clips in here. And by the way, I already snapped like 2 of the branches. Since this plant was going through some deficiencies in the past, the stems became very, not only thick, but very tough to manage, not very malleable. I'm using Blue Planet Nutrients 2-part Blue Max and some CalMag. I'm not using silica. Silica is one of those things that can actually help make those stems a little more malleable, make it a little bit easier to train. But yeah, this thing I would really like to, I need to thin it out. I need to definitely do some defoliation. Definitely need to widen the plant a lot more. It's not as wide as I would like it. I need to spend some time in here, really bending things down, using these clips or doing some ties, but I need to be real careful because again, I've already snapped like 2 branches on this. So that's one of the downsides right here is I should have trained it a little bit sooner here. Just to fill y'all in for the folks that this is the first time tuning into one of my DWC videos, is this is my first run with it. So don't recommend you take my advice to begin. This is more just experiment purposes. This was a re-vegged plant. So I took a clone in flowering, brought it back to the vegetative stage, but I'm not reliant on this plant. If this plant dies, I'm okay with it. I don't need to get this to harvest. I'm just having fun with it. I hope to get to harvest, but if it doesn't, I'm not gonna be upset. I'm not gonna beat myself up because this is the first time I'm going through this. There was some deficiencies throughout. It seems like everything has bounced back. Some of this stuff is gonna stay on there, right? So like the rusting on the leaves, like this stuff isn't going to recover. Eventually I'm gonna pluck some of these leaves off, but the new growth all seems to be very healthy. As far as what we're running for pH and ppm, let me put in my pH meter here. So we'll get pH measurement there. We're also going to get a water temperature measurement. That's another important aspect of it. EC, I can tell you what that is right now. We're looking at 1.8 to 1.9 EC here in the vegetative stage. And for those that use ppm instead, if you have a TDS tester, use ppm. 900 to 950 ppm is what that is equivalent to. So that's one of the questions I had for you guys with experience is what EC or ppm do you like to run when you're using deep water culture for the different stages of growth? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'd appreciate the feedback there. Past couple of videos, I've gotten so much good feedback from you guys. You're really guiding me through this grow here. I have plenty of experience when it comes to soil or growing cocoa, but hydroponics is brand new to me and I'm just having so much fun with it so far. We're looking at 5.7 pH and a 75 degree Fahrenheit for the water temperature. And I do actually been using the frozen water bottle technique. This one is no longer frozen, but freezing up water bottles and putting it into here to lower the water temperature has been key for me because I don't have a water chiller. So this, I'm gonna have to put another frozen water bottle in there. I actually did record some footage of using the frozen water bottle and then showing each hour what the water temperature is, how it goes down and then comes back up. If you guys want to see that video, let me know down in the comment section below. I think it's a cool little experimental video that could bring some value to some folks that are using the frozen water bottle hack. So let me know if you want to see that one. But long story short, I've been putting one frozen water bottle in first thing in the morning. When I wake up and check the water temperature, it's usually in the high 70s, 77, 78, 79 degree Fahrenheit. So I put in a frozen water bottle. Then I don't really need to put another one in there until afternoon. So ideal state, I would put it in the afternoon, and then I put one more in the evening before I go to bed, and that manages the water temperature throughout the whole day. Now I have actually been able to get away with just doing one in the morning and one in the evening. And it seems like plant growth has been fine. But typically when I'm doing the frozen water bottle, it's between 70 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit is the water temperature, which is ideal from a dissolved oxygen standpoint. Anything higher than 75 degrees Fahrenheit, lower dissolved oxygen, and you're at risk for fungal root pathogens, Pythium, Fusarium. So those are two things that could really wipe things out. So I'm very hesitant on the water temperature. I want to make sure that I am monitoring that and adjusting it, because I definitely don't want to come across those fungal root pathogens and wipe out this plant. I don't have a water chiller yet. I've been researching it. I got some good feedback from the last video where I asked for some recommendations. So thank you to those who have mentioned some recommendations for me. Since I got the EC in check, I've got the water temperature in check, the pH in check, I have noticed that the purpling of the stems has gone away. It was really, well, I mean, it's still purpling, but it's starting to turn back to green. I don't know how well the camera can pick it up, but this was like a dark, dark purple the whole way through, and it's starting to lighten up. It's starting to change from that purple to green, which is another indication that it is bouncing back from being unhealthy to being healthy. So wanted to report that one as well. One other thing I wanted to ask about is hydrogen peroxide. And some folks had mentioned that they put hydrogen peroxide in the reservoir. My question for you is, number one, how much hydrogen peroxide? Two, and you just put it in the reservoir with the nutrient solution, or are you emptying out the nutrient solution, putting plain water in for a period of time, and then going back to putting nutrient solution in there? The reason why is because hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. Beginner chemistry here, nothing real deep in the knowledge, but I'm wondering if a reaction would happen if you're putting hydrogen peroxide in the reservoir with other nutrients in there, right? Is there something happening in there? Or is it just sterilizing things? Is it staying that same molecule and then actually sterilizing? Want to know more information about that, so let me know down in the comments section below for those of you that have knowledge. Overall though, I'm pretty happy with how things are going so far, how much it's bounced back. It's kind of surprised myself. I thought this plant was going to be done, and it looks so much better now. I just need to widen it some more and continue to keep a good environment, keep the nutrition in there, keep the water under control as far as temperature, and this plant should be able to continue to grow and be able to flip to flowers soon and be able to get to harvest. So fingers crossed on that one. Any other additional feedback that you have, leave in the comment section below. I appreciate you. I'll leave it at that. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, peace.